what fascinates me about Islam is the diversity. That's what I realized after coming to UK, especially how like people from different backgrounds come together for the same religion. And I feel like Islam is the only religion that talks about, you know, like recently all the BLM movement and stuff like that. So in terms of racism and looking that now, that makes a lot of sense now. Like be seeing that Islam is the only religion that shows us like how not to discriminate.
You talk about Hajj, you talk about Malik al-Shabazz, Malcolm X. We got so much content, subhanAllah. Amazing, mashallah. And non-Muslims want to hear this, and you know what, they don't know this. Yeah, they've been taught other things about Islam. You know, the marriage of Aisha or ISIS and all that nonsense. Yes, subhanAllah. So that's brilliant, sister. Mashallah, excellent. Your sister? Salam.
I'm Shadha. I'm a student as well. I think kind of like what kind of I get like very excited about is like thinking about Quran and like like reading it and like thinking about it and deriving meanings and just getting like engrossed in that. But I think like for another person to talk to them about Quran, you don't necessarily need to go into like deep stuff and like philosophical things. But even if just to share like like how, or even just if you were to convey like for yourself or like for myself like how much like it's transformed my life and like connection with it, someone else can see that and think like what's
like when you read the Quran, how you feel about it after you've recited and pondered the verses, and that feeling you get, that's what people want to hear. Subhanallah, excellent, mashallah, excellent.
My name is Lena. I'm also a student.
Your name is?
Lena,
okay.
Yeah, also a student.
I know you're students, but what are you studying? We're all students. I'm a student of life.
Studying Dawah.
Yeah, studying Dawah.
I study medicine.
Medicine, okay. Most of you medics, mashallah, or some medic as well? Medic?
Engineering.
Engineering, okay, mashallah.
I'd say for me, something that I've recently sort of got excited about is the order of things in the Quran.
Okay, another Quran narrative, yes, excellent.
So sort of divine order and things like that. I've been following the Norman Ali Khan series.
Yeah, the man's going through that as well. Yeah, mashallah.
So
and it fascinates you, and when you talk about it, you say, and that's so. All you do now is just articulate that with the non-Muslims. The sister with the white hijab at back, or Hadika, remember her daughter.
My name's Hadika. I'm a student in secondary school.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about Eid.
Eid, yes, subhanAllah. Yeah, absolutely, because they're always going about Christmas and get drunk and forget what happened last night. That's the best Christmas ever. We have Eid, mashallah. Excellent, alhamdulillah, excellent. Khadija? What's your name, Khadija?
My name's Khadija. Same as Hadika.
Student. You're a student at school, yeah? And what about Islam? What gets you passionate about Islam? What do you like find exciting, interesting? Eid as well? Eid, mashallah. So your name and?
My name is Yumna and
you work as a?
my aim is first is namaz and Quran.
Yeah, namaz.
Main thing,
You're passionate about namaz, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent, mashallah. That's my missus. So. What's your name? I always try it, but I know the person's name. So alhamdulillah, thank you. Excellent answers. That's so, look how diverse that is, yeah? And that's just what 1% of the deen, yeah? And so what I've done with non-Muslims, this is what you could do. Once you learn some of the arguments of how to refute atheism, and it's good to have it right as a tool. Once you've gone through that, you say to look, Jim or Tom or Sarah or Sunita, before you go, and I'm thinking of a street dawah situation. Before you go, I want to share something with you, which is something really close to my heart. Because people love to hear. Look, human beings love two things: stories and something really like heartfelt, passionate things. Yeah, this is people, especially UK, which is supposed to be British upper lip and the way the society is built over the last few decades. They want to hear passionate things. They want to hear heartfelt things. They love stories. So one thing I've done, and so this is what you could do, is when you pray salah, my wife says namaz. When you pray salah, most of our salah, of course, it's a very dry run, right? Unfortunately, may Allah, improve our salah, right? Most of it is rushed, and we think about shopping and assignments and this that kind of thing. But there's the odd salah which we get right? Alhamdulillah. And sometimes when you're sujood, especially when you want something from Allah, and you're sujood, and you praised Him, and there's a dua you ask, and you really need something, and that's when we're closest to Allah, right? That's when you can let the tears out. Even the brothers, of course, man, you let the tears flow, and you come close to Allah. It says you and your Lord. They want to hear about that, and I've used this so many times. And I'll be honest as well. I'm not going to act like a pious person every single salah. No. But the odd salah now and again, it's an amazing feeling. And I say to them, do you not want that feeling? Yeah. Because you've given the intellectual, now they want the emotional, spiritual stuff, right? And they get curious and they ask about salah more. Yeah, I don't want to do that, So that's why I was asking about that, salah. So there's various ways, Some people love the whole community aspect of the deen. It's still there, even though the ummah is at its weakest point, at the moment. But we still have the jama'ah, we still have the brotherhood, we still have the sisterhood. We're still far ahead in other communities, right? In terms of salah, the Jummah, and the Eid salah, and this brotherhood. People crave the brotherhood. They want it. They come to deen for the brotherhood. So talk about that. But this is what you share with people. Now the other part of this. What's the time? Okay. Is this recording, by the way? Okay. Is street dawah techniques. So I don't know if I should be going through this. When I say street dawah, if you guys are not going to be involved in street dawah, you could still take tips from there because this is communication. Yeah. So although these are street dawah techniques, I think they could be used in other places. Neighborhood dawah, online, with cafe. A lot of sisters I would say you can have cafe dawah, meaning have coffee meetups and talk about the purpose of life. So there's various, but for those brothers, stopping techniques. Who's done street dawah? Have you done street dawah, bro? Recently, you've been doing it for quite some time.
So there's brothers that do it every week.
Okay.
Near my house, so in Sheffield.
How long have you been doing that? What's your experience?
I've not really been active with them, but
Okay.
I've been active in Manchester previously.
Okay, street dawah, yeah?
Yeah, street.
When was the last time in Manchester?
In Manchester, it would have been a few years back.
So when we met in Manchester, did you, even before that?
Yeah, before that.
Okay, so it's been a long time.
Mm.
Okay. What about you, brothers? Have you tried street dawah? Have you done street dawah? Joined street dawah?
No, once I was invited by Christians.
Oh, you were given dawah too.
Yeah, we got
Okay, okay. Fair enough. Look, and look, they've got batil and they're doing it. Yeah, that's
we reached a conclusion. They said the truth is whatever you believe in. So they lost.
have faith.
Yeah, well, ضالين. So
Yeah.
they're ضالين.
Okay, so, but now, inshallah, the point is to you to engage now. So one of the things you'll see, and I don't know about Sheffield, it's new to me. Like I had that experience, but in London, have you ever been to Leicester Square in London, central London, the central part of London? So it's a very busy area. That's where people converge for dates and shopping and food and cinema and that kind of thing. So that's a very busy area. In London, in the south, one of the biggest challenges of duaat is to stop people and have a chat in the first place. It's the biggest challenge. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I did street fundraising for a long time, 19 years fundraising. So I did a lot of so stopping people for me is something very easy. It comes very easy to me. Based upon that, I put some techniques of street dawah techniques. So if you do go out today and then inshallah maybe in the future when I'm not here, you can start things like, so you're there handing out flyers, pamphlets, which you've got in the car by the way. You give them out, any passersby, hello, how are you, good afternoon, would you like a leaflet? You can do that. But if you really want to have a conversation, you can say, hi, can I ask you a quick question? That's always a good start. It gets everyone curious. As opposed to, hi, accept Islam, hi, Islam, why do you become Muslim? One brother used to do that. I mean, I like the passion, but it's a bit, like, what? I remember one guy, he said, I think in Stratford, he goes, the brother was saying, you should become Muslim now, you should become Muslim now. That was his line, right? And one guy stopped, and he said, what now? All right. And the brother didn't know what to do. So subhanAllah, you have to be ready for these kind of things. But the thing is, that's a bit too in their face. So, and you can't just be quiet, like mute, like, because you're not a distributor. Yeah? You're here the dawah, right? So if you want a conversation, when you say, can I ask you a quick question? I say, and then I know what you guys are thinking. What's the question, brother? Anything you want. What's your name? What do you do? Are you in a rush or whatever? Yeah. So the conversation has to be informal. That's one thing. One of the biggest tips I can give you, inshallah, in street dawah, is when you go to the store, when you go to the city centre or town centre, maybe in Gloucester or something. Yeah. In fact, you're local. You're from out of city as well.
I'm out of the country.
or out of the country, subhanAllah. You came all the way from another country for this, subhanAllah, bro. You know, that was that big.
Dedication.
I live in Sheffield, yeah. But
Okay, mashallah. Where did you travel from?
Lebanon.
Lebanon, mashallah. Okay. And you're going back?
No, alhamdulillah.
Oh, you're here now?
Okay. Yeah, going to
By the, you know, there's a Beirut Dawah team. I'm in contact with it. It's actually sisters that lead it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, shocked, what?
I have no
There's
idea.
not a Dawah team I don't know. Alhamdulillah, around the world. So they're very active. They've got a Facebook page and everything. There's a sheikh called Dr. Fadil Suleiman.
Yeah, he's Egyptian.
Oh, he's Egyptian. I thought he's.
Yeah, I know him.
So he's been linked with this. He's got that organization, Bridges.
Bridges Foundation.
That's it. Yeah. So he's through him. He's built this team, alhamdulillah, in Beirut, and they do dawah, mashallah.
Yeah,
I don't know right now, but they were definitely active 2 years ago.
I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe I'll connect to you, inshallah. So, but look, street dawah can be done in almost everywhere, but a few places. Like India, it's a bit hard now. In China, of course, Russia. There's a few countries, autocratic, but in France as well. But there's ways of getting around it. But generally, you can do street dawah. So, when you do approach street dawah, when you approach outdoor outreach store, wherever you have it, whether it's on the streets, whether it's on campus, you can have a stall in campus. Why not? Which is what I prefer. You can have it at a large event. You know, they have these big fairs in Birmingham and Asian areas. They have these Miller things, which in Manchester you might have seen it, where they're obviously because of COVID, but yeah, you have stalls and things converge. Wherever there's a crowd, basically, wherever you're allowed, you can manage to have a stall. When you approach that store, when you approach street dawah, go there to just chill out and have a conversation. Don't go there, I need to get 5 shahadas today. I need to tell the people about all the tafsir al-Quran from Baqarah and Imran. No. It's like, you know, subhanAllah, when we got the training, and I only touched upon a few things today, like this is brief of a brief, right? But once you do training, if you are going to do with me or whatever, inshallah, when we used to do training, we used to think, okay, now I'm going to be a philosopher, a mujtahid, an imam, sheikh al-Islam, and faqih, and mufassir all in one.